Hello, Mr. Morfetto fans. I'm here, your host, Mr. Morfetto, and I've got more Dragon Ball goodness for you. And today I'm going to do my very first countdown video. This video's topic will be Krillin's top 7 fights in all of Dragon Ball history. That includes Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball GT. So let's kick this off with number 7, Krillin versus Frieza. In a lot of ways, this fight was a one-way beatdown, Frieza being an absolute monster, nearly killing Krillin multiple times. The reason this fight makes this list is the fact that he fought Frieza, even knowing he stood no chance. He was able to land a Kienzan or a Destructo Disc on Frieza and did some actual damage, even though he was nowhere near Frieza's over 1 million power level. He was able to cut the tip of Frieza's tail off. Also bought some more time for Goku to heal up. But the most important thing Krillin did in this fight actually is he died. Yes, he was brutally killed by Frieza, which sparked the very first Super Saiyan, in which you can say is one of the most memorable moments in the entire series. Moving on, number 6, Krillin versus Bacterium. This fight was interesting to say the least, but this was Krillin's first official one-on-one win in the series, not counting the preliminary rounds, which were all basically squash matches. Also, this was a major opponent at the time for Krillin. He had a fun gimmick with those crazy stink attacks, which were pretty fun for the time and something we haven't seen again since. They sort of referenced it in Dragon Ball Super in the Tournament of Power with Krillin's stinky shoe. The fight is remembered though because Krillin, we find out that he has no nose. Up until this point, I personally wasn't sure if the artist just didn't draw a nose, but he had a nose. But in this fight, Goku points out to Krillin he has no nose, which Krillin uses and takes advantage of to score his victory in round 1 of his very first Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. I believe the very first official tournament match of the entire series. Also, this fight, most definitely a good mix of goofy gimmicky things that Toriyama is known for and the martial arts we all love. Number 5, Krillin versus Nappa and Vegeta. Yes, you can say another loss for Krillin in a way, but he came into this fight with some confidence. After training with Kami and the other Z fighters almost a year, he actually vastly increased his power level to a respectable 1770. Right behind Ten Shinhan, who clocked in at 1830. Plus, this was before they powered up, so he was probably more likely in the mid-2000s. Without Krillin in this fight, everyone would have died. He kept Gohan alive. He stayed alive from the very beginning of this fight all the way through the end, even though the rest of the Z fighters fell. Which shows a lot of his strategic ability, his survivability. He helped beat Ozaru Great Ape Vegeta, but also got to help hit him with the very first Spirit Bomb or Genki Dama, also almost killing Vegeta. If it wasn't for Goku's soft heart, we would all be saying that Krillin is the one who killed Vegeta using Yajirobe's sword. Number 4, Krillin versus Chiaotzu. This fight with Chiaotzu was such a great fight. It was an epic moment for Krillin to actually go in against one of the 2 main antagonists of the entire saga in the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. And he gets the victory, unlike Yamcha, who got decimated by Ten Shinhan earlier in the tournament. Also, being Chaozu's first official fight in the series, one of the few fights he gets to have before Ten Shinhan puts him on the bench. Regardless, this was a major moment for Krillin because he not only wins, but he uses his very first Kamehameha wave. Number 3, Krillin versus the remaining Cybermen. After one had just self-destructed, killing one of his turtle classmates, one of his best friends, Yamcha, this sparked a rage inside Krillin that we don't see enough of. Krillin went into this fight with confidence that he would avenge his friend and he would eliminate all 5 of the remaining Cybermen, and he comes very close. After sending a scattershot attack into the air, he lays down a barrage of ki blasts from the sky, killing, I believe, 4 Cybermen. Piccolo easily eliminating the 5th and final Cyberman. Also, Krillin takes a large sneak pot shot attack at Vegeta and Nappa, hoping to do some damage, which was a noble effort. It was a short fight, but it was something I still remember fondly. Also, was an awesome win, which Krillin does not get enough of. Alright, number 2, Krillin versus Goku. Okay, this one was obviously going to make the list. But was it going to be in the top 2? Oh, hell yes. So this was a major moment for Krillin. He just beat Chaozu in round 1, and he's about to go against Goku in the semifinals. The main character of the entire show. The man, the myth, the legend. In a lot of ways, at this point in the story, Krillin's main rival. At this point, Krillin is Goku's number 2 guy. What I mean by that is Krillin's the guy who fights the bad guy before Goku does and loses, and then Goku comes and gets the win. Sort of like his relationship with Vegeta now. This was Krillin's moment to pull off a surprise victory, and he held his own, showing off some major strategy and improvement using everything he's got. Though he came out of this fight losing, he still earned some respect from not only his best friend Goku, but his master Roshi, which is really a win for Krillin. Finally, we have reached number 1, Krillin versus Piccolo. Alright, number 1 is yet another loss for our boy Krillin, but hear me out. If you haven't watched Piccolo vs. Krillin, you're missing out on a masterpiece of storytelling here. Think about this for a second. In the previous King Piccolo saga, Krillin was easily killed by one of King Piccolo's minions, Tambourine, off screen, mind you, obviously in some sort of squash match, jobbing out Krillin for the entire arc. But here, I believe 3 years later, Krillin had grown so much, not only in power, but in confidence. Krillin was ready to win this tournament. There was a different swagger to Krillin that we had not seen yet. So he shocks everybody by shooting a double ki wave, then bending it up towards Krillin, using major strategy there to hold his own against the main antagonist of this entire last arc of the original Dragon Ball. A guy we are led to believe is stronger than King Piccolo, stronger than Goku was when he beat King Piccolo. He made Piccolo sweat. He almost lands a Kamehameha to Piccolo's face. If it wasn't for Piccolo's extreme speed, Krillin could have really done some major damage. This fight was great because it put Krillin over as a badass. He was standing right behind Ten Shinhan. I mean right behind Ten Shinhan as the 3rd strongest babyface in all of Dragon Ball. Though he lost with dignity, he lost with style. This is not only my favorite fight Krillin has ever had, but I believe his very best fight. Well, that's all 7 Thank you for joining me today in this video. I'm Mr. Morfetto. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me what you think was Krillin's greatest fight in all of Dragon Ball. And I'll see you next time.